Welcome, my friends, to the show that never ends. This is the Red All Over Show, the Away End, with our friend from Reading FC, Ben Thompson. Ben, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, thanks for having me. Really good to be on and talk to you about two clubs that aren't having the best of times, really. I host the Tilehurst End podcast with a friend of mine called Ross, who's over the pond in America. And it's been very difficult this season. We kind of took it over from the previous host in the summer, and it's been doom and gloom ever since, Andy. So we're just trying to cling on to any positives we can at the moment and try and move forward. So that's kind of where we are at the moment, really.
Do you think it'd be nice for you to have a season where you don't get points deducted? Would that help?
Would be glorious. Yeah, I think we've points deduction's been our bogey team recently. I think they've taken more points off us than any other team we've played in the last 4 years. So it's not good at all, really. And I was talking to someone today about this, but I wouldn't wish where we are now on anyone. No. Not even Swindon. It's really it's dire. We're on life support until we can get a new owner in. So it's not a happy place down in Berkshire at the moment. Put it that way.
We ourselves are in a position where we're waiting to find the outcome of an investigation by the EFL, and we think, that the rumours are that we'll probably find out next April-ish, April, May, March, April, May. Who knows what it's going to be? We've absolutely no idea. So it's not that we don't feel for you. I mean, I can remember a few years ago, there was one season when it were us or you vying for the playoffs to go up, and we managed it, and then we just managed it. And then the following season, the same two clubs were vying to avoid relegation. And I can remember coming on one of your podcasts and another one saying, "Oh, it's going to be easy. It'll be us. We'll stay up because Reading, they bottled it last year. They'll bottle it this year. If I'm not, make me out into a clown." And yes, indeed, they turned me into a clown. I thought it was absolutely incredible, Ben. So funny.
You took it well, mate. You took it well. So it's nice that we're both, I say, level pegging, because obviously you're doing a little bit better in the league than we are. But it's nice to be back playing each other, and hopefully we can have good seasons after Saturday and kick on a little bit, hopefully.
Well, yeah. I mean, I miss Reading. I'll not be going to the match on Saturday, but my son used to live for a number of years. He lived in Sandhurst, so I always used to come down to and stop the weekend with him and his family, my grandkids and daughter-in-law and what have you, and go to the occasional London match like your Charltons or you're playing tomorrow night. And Reading came a few times to Reading because it's literally, Sandhurst, it's in spitting distance, isn't it? So
yeah, it's not far at all.
So I quite missed that. He moved a few years ago now, and now he lives in Bacup in deepest, darkest, satanic milled Lancashire. And there's only Bolton. I don't want to be going to any Lancashire teams. It's the War of the Roses is alive and well in South Yorkshire. So I much preferred going to Sandhurst and coming across to Reading. And what was, I don't know what it is now, the Majeski Stadium then.
Select Carlisa now, mate. Yeah, so they've kind of really upped us out over the last few years of sponsorship, and they chipped in and paid some wages this year as well. So we're, it's not, as I said on our post the other week, it's not the best name for a stadium, but we are, as fans, incredibly grateful to them, and always will be. Really, they've really saved us. So thank you to those guys, really.
I mean, the last time I came down, you absolutely hammered us. And I mean, I'm a Yorkshireman, and if you're going to spend money, spend it on yourself. I think at the time, it's years ago, £8 to park. I had never heard anything like that. I went into palpitations and started sweating at the thought of, I won't pay that for food, let alone. Oh, it were all too much. So I did the naughty thing, which was we turned round right at the entrance to it, turned round and parked in the commercial thing where you're being queues and all the other things, and you weren't supposed to.
Loads of people do it.
Yeah, we're not supposed to. So we legged in, then legged back out quickly so that we could beat the wherever it was. Took 2 hours time limit or something like that. Anyway, good times apart from the result at that time. But yeah, good times. So For all people watching, if you're watching it and you like this, please like it. Click on the like button. Please subscribe. Don't cost out. Just subscribe. Why not? You know that makes some sense. If you're not watching it, there's no hope. For some people who are watching it, tell the people who aren't watching they need to watch it. They need to sort it out. Please give us comments. I'd like to hear what people think. You know, it's a fan show. You know, not to hear what fans think, and so put loads of comments in. And I give you my word as an officer and a gentleman that I will reply to every single comment. You might not like where I put, and it might just be tar, but I'll reply to it all. So let's get into it then. Let's get going. We've got two people. Ben, that do the main show. It used to be a guy called Joe Beardsall, and then Josh Atherton's taken over it. And they always say at the start, "Let's get into it." I keep trying to think of something else to say. Let's get into it, because you know they're young men, and I can't be doing with all that. Let's get into it business. So, Reading, tell us about how it's going. Tell us about what sort of formation and style of play you've got.
We talk about you instead. Is that we talk about where you're at? Yeah. Look, listen. It's been a torrid season. We're not even at Christmas yet. You know, it's everything that's could go wrong at a football club has gone wrong. And you know, some of your fans and other audiences would have seen, you know, us dumped out a cup on Sunday against Eastleigh. You know, congratulations to them. But there was a kind of protest organised, and that went through quite well. And really, the main aim is to get our current owner out as quickly as possible. On the pitch, obviously, that's massively affected what is going on with our squad and our team. Ruben Sellers comes across as a great guy, our manager, but he's probably one of the worst managers I've seen in 30 plus years of watching this football club. He hasn't got a clue, no idea, completely out of his depth. So we're kind of just chugging along really until we get a takeover. In terms of formation, up until the Portsmouth game, we were kind of 4-2-2. So we kind of were quite aggressive in the press, and still are aggressive in the press in some respects. But you know, since then we kind of reverted to a 4-1-4-1. Which, you know, obviously looks different if we're in transition with the ball and not with the ball, for example. But, you know, that yielded a couple of results. We beat Wickham away for the first time in over a year. That was our first league win in over a year, which was an incredible day, to be honest with you. So thank you to Wickham for that one. And then we absolutely battered Carlisle 5-1 in the most bizarre 5-1 you'll ever see. Like, we just were, you know, we went through the stage of the game where we were quite good. Other times we were absolutely terrible, but we managed to score 5 goals. So we'll take that. And then, of course, we go to Eastleigh on Sunday and get knocked out, having got ourselves back in the game and lose an injury time goal. So it's I
watched it, Ben. Yeah, I thought you'd done it, you know, after being 1-0 down for a long period of time, and then scoring about 85th minute, something like that. Yeah. And then right at the death, flipping heck.
And that, you know, that shows you, Andy, the mentality of the players and where they're at the moment. And you know, we just, you can talk about luck all you want, but you've got to make your own luck. And really, we've not in most of the games this year, we've just not been good enough. And that ultimately is down to the manager and the players that he selects to play a system that just doesn't fit what we've got, basically. So we have got green shoots. There are some good players at the club, but you know, we are where we are. We're second bottom, 13 points. It's going to be very difficult to get out of this moving forward. And you know, for me, until we change a manager, that's not going to happen, really.
I'm interested to know about what players you've got, but before you do that, I want you to tell me in a second. Before we do that, we also played Wickham recently. Our last game were against Wickham when we won 1-0. I don't know if you've seen the highlights or
I have. Yeah,
the goal was a thing of absolute beauty.
Yeah, you'd be livid, wouldn't you? You go all the way up from Buckinghamshire in midweek, and your goalie does that in what, 88th minute, something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the ridiculousness of it was that it was a freezing cold night. Everybody was fed up because it was not a great game. It's fair to say. We didn't cover ourselves particularly in glory, but Wickham didn't come to win. So it was a really, really boring game. And people kept looking at the watchers thinking, come on, blow the final whistle. Let's just go home. And then it happened with Sam Cosgrove, and I don't think I've stopped laughing since. I laughed all the way home. Just like that, the flick, like the flick of a switch from doom and gloom and despair and totally being fed up to absolute. Everybody was laughing at the ridiculousness of it. And frankly, the goalkeeper got what he deserved. He got absolutely what he deserved for his for his antics. But anyway, so never mind all that. I had to bring that up because it had me in hysterics. It had me in hysterics. What I will do when this show gets put up, probably later today, Ben, I'll add the Twitter post that your fellow Reading fans put up with me about the you doom and you're all bottlers and all that, and turned me into a clown, because it still makes me chuckle. And what a wonderful set of fans, absolutely wonderful set of fans. Took everything in the way that football's supposed to be intended. Got nothing but respect for you and for the rest of the Reading fans. So well done for that. Right, so tell us about what players to watch for then.
Well, I mean, we got a game, as you mentioned, tomorrow night against Charlton, so we'll see some fringe players there. Realistically, I'd love to tell you we go full strength on Saturday, but no one really knows what our full strength side is at the moment, and I don't think the manager does, which is part of the issue. I suppose that the spine of the team will be there or thereabouts. So we've got a guy, Nelson Abbey, who's come through the youth setup here at Reading, has recently played for England youth as well. Fantastic centre back, very composed for his age, very physically strong, deceptively pacey. So he will start and he should start every game. We've got Lewis Wing in the middle, who has really kind of come into his own over the last couple of weeks. Very, very shaky start, didn't quite find his feet, but is now kind of weighing in with goals, wants to get on the ball, move it forward. And then up top, you've got Sam Smith, who rejoined us in the summer, having spent some time at Cambridge, who, again, is a really important player to how we currently need to play. And I guess we'll play in the future as well. The bizarre thing is that technically our best players aren't featuring at the moment. So we've got Charlie Savage, who is fantastic on the ball when he's allowed, license to get forward. Probably runs the most in the team in terms of the press, chasing players down. We've got a guy called Caelan Vickers, who is a striker and can also play as an attacking midfielder, who again is very, very young, came through our setup, but is not getting a look in at the moment. And then we've got Ben Elliott, who came in from Chelsea over the summer, towards the back end of the summer, who again played on Sunday, you would have seen, completely out of position on the left. Very, very bad game, was hooked at half time, and kind of rightly so at that point. But there's a lot of potential in this team. It's just not being nurtured in the right way. Beyond that, we've got a few other players that are kind of there or thereabouts, but no one is really grabbing the shirt and kind of saying, yeah, this is it. So, the three players I mentioned at the start would effectively be our kind of spine. And they're the players that are probably the ones to look for on Saturday.
Yeah. How's Yids getting on? Because we remember Andy Yeardham with great affection, to be honest, from his time at Barnsley.
Yeah, I mean, he's captain of a very difficult place at the moment. It's very hard. He splits the fan base, it's fair to say. Over the last few weeks, he's been a bit more solid than he has been, but I think a lot of fans would like to see more leadership from him in terms of getting out in front of the camera, in terms of taking the post-match interviews when things haven't gone well. So, yeah, I mean, he's been a stalwart for us, I guess. He's been fairly consistent over the years that he's been with us. But, if, in my opinion, if we had a replacement, younger player to slot in, he wouldn't be in the team, would be my personal perception of that. Because it's, as you know, it's a tough league, very physical. There's a lot of quick players that play up front, including your man, Mr. Cole, up front, that we'll talk about in a bit. But it's one of those where actually it's not the right setup for him at the moment, and he's done a service. But really, we need to be looking a bit more to the future now in terms of for me, bringing a few more youth players through.
And I can remember Harley Dean when he played for Birmingham, and I wouldn't like to come across him on a dark night. He always seems to me as hard as nails. Is he playing regularly?
No, I mean he came on Saturday, Sunday, which was a really strange substitution to make when we're trying to go forward and he's changing the defence, which tells you tactically where the manager's at. He's kind of had fits and starts this season, but again he's not really up to the pace of it. We've got a fairly strong centre back pairing of Tyler Bindon, who's an international for New Zealand now, and as I mentioned, Nelson Abbey, who are kind of the centre backs for us in terms of starting. So it's not been easy for him coming into a club like this, and I think he's probably realised that it's worse than he thought it was on paper. Really, as a lot of the players coming in the summer actually are starting to realise now.
Yeah. What would you like to know about Barnsley, Ben?
Well, realistically, the danger men. Obviously, you got Devontae Cole up top. But in terms of goal threats, who else are we looking at within the game on Saturday?
Right, briefly then, Devontae Cole scored something like, I think it's 11 goals in the league this season. He's gone off the boil a little bit recently. I don't think he's been getting this. Well, I'm pretty sure he's not been getting the service that he ought to have. He runs about a lot and he tries hard, but it's not coming off for him at the minute. What we may do, and it all depends on selection, as we've just started to get Sam Cosgrove back. He's playing tonight, because we're recording this just for people watching. We're recording this on Tuesday before Barnsley play at Blackpool, so I've no idea what's going to happen at Blackpool. But Sam did well. He scored a wonder goal, as I've already said. He gives us a presence up front that I think that Devontae will enjoy and be able to feed off. So I'd personally like to see that combination. That means that players such as John McAtee, who's got a lot of skill and puts himself about a lot, he may drop. If that happens, he may drop back into midfield. He's often been playing up front with Devontae, and I'm not sure it's that great a combination, because neither of them, I would suggest, the target men. I think as far as who to watch for, I think you'll not go far wrong if you watch for Luca Connell in the central midfield. He's been injured most of the season. He's just started to come back. It's only those last few matches that he's come back. He holds the midfield together. He's the sort of linchpin in the middle that dictates play. He makes such an incredible difference to us, an incredible difference. So he'll be the one. As far as attacking threat, watch for Nicky Cadden, our left wing back, because he can whip a ball in. He's good at whipping a ball in. As far as other threats, watch for Barry Cotter. If Barry Cotter plays at right wing back, he's an enigma. I think it's fair to say most people would think he's an enigma, because he gets the ball and you don't know what he's going to do with it. I'm not sure that Barry knows what he's going to do with it half the time. He's got a decent long throw. He's got a decent shot. He gets stuck in. Sometimes it's worth bringing him on as a striker, because he just runs at people. And he's not. Sometimes he's unbelievably effective, but other times you think, why is he on the pitch? It really is that much of an enigma. But I'm saying that Barry Cotter, if he's playing, will be worth watching, because you'll be dumbfounded, because who knows what's going to happen? Absolutely no idea what's going to happen. So I'd say they're the ones. I think our weaknesses, if you want to put it that, is that currently we've been playing Jordan Williams as who's a right wing back. On the right side, we play a back three, 5 in midfield, 2 up front and a back three. And it's made us weaker at the back, because he's not as physically strong as I would hope a centre-half would be, but he's a very good right wing back. So it'll all depend where he plays. And he's sometimes had to play there because of injuries to... we've got a number of centre-backs. 3 of them have been injured. One's just coming back, so that might make a difference. So if he plays at right centre-back, we could well be suspect down your left wing, if you want to put it, that way. So, I was going to say we're as strong as anything, so don't go down that side, because you'll not get anywhere going down that side. But you've got such an honest face. I can't lie to you, Ben. I can't lie to you. So get ready for a penalty, because we've given 6 penalties away in 9 games, usually by sticking a toe out instead of the tackle. And I think sometimes they've been very soft. I'm not going to start talking about referees to you, because that'll take the next hour if I start talking about the quality of referees that we've had. we've not been helped, I think it's fair to say, apart from the goal against Wycombe. That certainly helped. Let me ask you this. I mean, is that enough for you? You want to know anything else?
Perfect. Yeah, I think you've done the scouting report for me, so thanks for that, mate. I appreciate that.
Just don't tell anybody. Just don't tell anybody. This is just this is just between me and you, don't you? Don't tell anybody. Just tell nobody. What I do want to know, picture this. Picture this. It's 1-1. The 90 minutes are up. The referee's playing an added 29 minutes. It comes to the 28th minute of added time, and you get a corner. Everybody goes up. The ball's floated over. Which player is going to go down like he's been shot by a sniper in the crowd to try and get a penalty? Which one?
That's a good question. Sam Smith or Lewis Wing, I think. They're always looking for something around the box. So, yeah, I'd go for one of those two if they're still on the pitch at that point.
If Sam goes down, I'll laugh because he's a big, strong lad, and it'll take a sniper's bullet to put him down anywhere except in the penalty area. It's
proper gamesmanship from Smithy, I'd say. Yeah.
I think we could do a bit of gamesmanship. We're a bit too. We don't do it as well as we ought to do. I will tell you this: I had the same discussion a few weeks ago. We had the manager and historian of Horsham FC, who we played in the FA Cup, and Dom Di Paola. When I said the same thing to him, and he said, I hope every single one of them goes down. So I had this thing, when it started to come to extra time in the first leg, which we drew 3-3 in the first game, I'm thinking, they get a corner, he's going to be swung over, and 10 players are going to go down clutching the legs. It didn't happen, but and we beat them in the replay, but for some unknown reason, they went through and we didn't. Must have been a glitch in the matrix or something like that.
100%, mate, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, in all fairness, I'm not going about Horsham too, but Horsham, we were really chuffed for Horsham. If it was not us, well, we got a really good relationship with Horsham, and really, really chuffed. Shame that they lost 3-0 against Sutton United last weekend, because we'd have liked them to continue. Because we're going to keep regular updates on our show about them, because we got such a close relationship with them. So, they sent me, so that we got a party on Friday. They sent me a signed program, which has now become a collector's item since Barnsley won 3-0, but we didn't. But to use as a prize for our Red All Over Christmas party. So I'm really, really chuffed for them. Mark Wells, who's the historian and program creator, really, really good guy. So I'm really, really chuffed about that. So back to Saturday. What are your thoughts about the game? What do you think's going to happen?
There'll be protests. 100% there'll be protests. Tennis balls, fake money, the lot really. In terms of on the pitch, I'd settle for a draw. I really would. I think most Reading fans would. If we can not lose the game, that's where we're at the stage of the season now, really. So if we can get out of there with at least a point, I say get out, but get out of the game with at least a point, that'd be a good afternoon's work for us. It's not, we've not done well against the teams higher up the league. We've not done well against many teams, to be honest with you, but the teams we beat recently are kind of there or thereabouts with us on the level. So, to get a draw would be a really, really good result. I think both teams will score. I don't think we will keep a clean sheet, because we never seem to be able to do that. But yeah, look, we just have to pick up points and hope they don't get taken off us later down the road in terms of points deductions and everything else. So if we can get a point, that will be a real positive for us as a club.
What do you think the score will be?
I think 1-1. 1-1 would be realistic in terms of where we're at. I'm hoping we win tomorrow night and get through to the next round of whatever the trophy's called these days, as we said off air. But we were hoping on Sunday we'd be able to keep that run going and get some momentum. Didn't happen. Absolute embarrassment for us as a football club, and congratulations to Ardsley, but we didn't do anywhere near enough to win the game. And we just need to get some form going. We just need to get some consistency, and we just need to get some sort of positivity on the pitch, so that we can, obviously never forget about what's gone on off the pitch, but just to give us hope, because at the moment, most people go to football for escape of real life.
Yeah.
For me and a lot of Reading
yeah.
fans, real life is the escape from the football. So that's kind of where we're at, Andy. And it's not great at all. I think I've aged horribly in the last 6 months supporting this football club. So we'll hope for a positive result and hope that the game is a good one for us. We want it to be entertaining and all the rest of it. So hopefully that will continue.
I hesitate to ask this, Ben, but against Eastleigh, do you think you bottled it?
Yeah, 100%. You can turn us all into clowns if you want, mate. It's not a problem. Most Reading fans have turned Sellers into a clown, so we 100% bottled it. We should have at least held out for a draw. And you watched it, we just couldn't do it. And it honestly, it's not even a surprise these days. It's just part of the course of being a fan of this football club. So 100% bottle it.
Well, I hope you do it again on Saturday. I'm sure you won't. I think I'm probably going to agree with you that it's likely to be a 1-1 draw. I think that's about what we could expect as well, because exactly what you said, I can't see, unless we change things, I can't see that we're going to keep a clean sheet. So get ready for a penalty in the 28th minute of added time. All courtesy of Sam Smith.
Exactly.
Ben, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope that we can repeat this when the teams play each other at Oakwell.
Yeah, no, thanks, mate. Thanks for having me on, and thanks to to all the stuff you do for your fans, and it's a great pod. Obviously, I think I came on last year and talked to Joe and the other guys and you as well. So thanks for having me on again. Best of luck to you and the club and everyone connected with it, and hope that your off the field stuff continues to get better, because fans don't deserve it. No fan of any football club should really be going through this, and hopefully with the situation that we're in as a football club, it's kind of shone a little bit of a light now on some of these owners that really are just using it as playthings, and up and down the country. So fingers crossed we meet again in better circumstances for both of us.
Absolutely. Okay then, mate. Take care. All the best.
All the best. See you later.